welcome. This is Dr. Traci K. I love you in this place. Let's come together. So good. Breathe this in. I welcome you. Again, if you're new, thank you for coming. And please do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that cat bell so you can get reminders of up and coming videos. Guarantee you are appreciated. And I also want to do a shout out to all those who are in the groups for our spiritual Sunday vibrational challenge group, how they are supporting others, posting beautiful art and art quotations, motivational quotes, inspiring, beautiful posts. I keep at it. I hope that everybody else gets in there and does the same. You're really helping a lot. I think it's making a difference. Now, I want to talk today to you about when people hurt you and life isn't fair. I think everybody can understand this part. It's about overcoming rejection. And rejection is one of the things that I really believe, and it actually, there are studies from universities that say, there's been a lot of studies from Duke University to Oxford University, there's Cleveland Clinic, there's a lot of studies on this rejection, that it is maybe one of the main causes that leads to severe depression, anxiety, mental health disorders, and also suicide, including added on to things like drugs and alcohol addictions, and even eating disorders. So I want to talk about when people hurt you and life isn't fair. Rejection is, do you remember the last time you were rejected? Was it a guy that never called you? Was it a father that never came around? Was it a boss that always overlooked you for a promotion? Was it an organization or an association or a state or government agency that didn't see you as a person that would be beneficial or earned in a sense of a reward or an award, Employee of the Month even. So or was it something that happened in a social thing, or maybe a family members that rejected you or didn't invite you to things, or friends who, from when you came home and your old high school buddies, they just reject you. They were total strangers to you. Do you remember when the last time you were rejected? And it hurt. Maybe someone in your life who never thought you were good enough, or they always said that you were nobody. You're nothing. You're nobody. You'll never be anything. Maybe they just said that, I don't understand you. I don't get along with you. I don't like you. Rejection is pretty tough, don't you think? And no matter what you did to try to impress them or try to please them, they just, it didn't matter. It stings. It hurts. It makes you feel like we're not good enough. Like, why am I here? What the heck am I doing here? If this is the way it's going to be in my life, right? It causes the questions of ourselves and doubts our future. It hinders love, kindness, spirituality, hope for anything. And I want to let you know that rejection isn't something we should be afraid of. I really think that rejection isn't something we should be afraid of. In fact, I think rejection is a blessing. And as sure as I'm talking to you right now, I really am now believing this. And that it shouldn't make you or make us get discouraged, depressed, or suicidal, or go towards addictions and stuff like that. And it's just an unhealthy moment of ours that prove nothing in this world of who you are, just to prove. And I'm sure you see this like on social media, where, oh, why is this so-called lady who can't sing, who can't act, but yet she's given 187 million followers. She's getting commercials, and you watch and you're like, I don't understand this. And it's not that you're saying that, okay, it's insecure. Granted, you are rejecting that person, but that's the world rejecting you because they picked her over somebody that actually maybe has a complete knowledge in that area, who studied that or spent years going to school, or maybe served their country even, and come back and they were promised all these careers and opportunities, and you're supposed to be looked at as something, and you're not. Instead, you come home from a war, you come home from your college, or you come home from anything, or you just school or work, and it's always a rejection. It's unhealthy, and you're constantly trying to prove to the world. Why do we do that? That we're trying to prove that, hey, I am somebody worth, I am valued, and I'm loved, and I deserve loving, caringness, generosity, popularity, and paid attention to, right? Now, rather rejection, I think you need to look at rejection in a sense of something that's bad that you're doing. But let me tell you something. I'm going to lay rejection is your friend. Rejection is actually an award to you, because these are tests. And allow this to see that you're anointing, you are valued, you are blessed, you are a child of the Most High, you were created in dark, where there was nothing, dark matter out there, nothing. You can't see in that matter. We float on the, you are shining and spinning with other stars out there, bright, whether you're a small little bright or you're, you are valued. You were created here in this cosmetic, beautiful space of nothing that we know where, that goes nowhere, nothing. But you are here, solid, blessed on this beautiful planet, on this beautiful, amazing technology that we have. This time, don't think there was a reason you came into this being. Rejection is not your enemy. I'm going to share 2 ways I think that we can see rejection as a blessing. It's a leverage in the moments of pain. It's a level up. These are level ups. These are stepping stones. These are steps to your greatest catalyst for your success. And how I'm going to share that to you is the proof of value and uniqueness. See, I remember growing up, the first way I'm going to see this is I'm going to tell you that you need to look at rejection and view it as seen as a projection. Okay? And a projection, think of that. Just listen to that. Rejection. Feel how that energy feels when you say that. Then say projection. Feel how that just rises up. Projection, rejection, projection. Right? I love that. The first way, it's a psychological term, in a sense, I'm going to provide to you. A positive psychology term here, or a belief, or a theme. It's a psychological, it's a psychological projection. And psychological projection in the sense of when someone subconsciously employs undesirable feelings or emotions onto someone else, rather than admitting to or dealing with their own unwanted feelings. When we can see how these rejections we face have more to do with another person's inward turmoil and not our own value. Do you understand that? Let me repeat that again so everybody understands that. See, projection is a psychological form of when someone subconsciously employs or puts upon undesirable feelings or emotions onto someone else rather than dealing and admitting to their own unwanted feelings. Rather than dealing with those unwanted feelings, we can see now why we deal with rejection. Now, why do we deal? Why are they picking on me? Because maybe they have more to do with another person's inward turmoil, not of your own value. They see this value, and they're like, it's a jealousy of some sort, right? So good? You understand that? Rather than shrink back and get discouraged, play it safe. I want you to understand that you need to move forward in life. Keep moving forward in life with your confidence, with your high esteem, with your high vibration, with your spiritual support. Because I guarantee you, you are valued. You are somebody that's been anointed in some way. And I want to give you an example. One of my painful moments of rejection happened. Now, growing up, I kind of was born into rejection a little bit. And I don't remember a lot of light in my life, a lot of darkness. It didn't come till later on, till I actually experienced more testing and rejections and so forth when I finally saw enlightenment later on when I was an adult. But as a child, as a young baby and a child, even in my womb, I heard a lot of vibrational rejection because, you know, my mother and father, there was always yelling, always leaving, always abandonment, always just that. And I ended up being born with pretty much close to being deaf. My stage 2 is never done, and I'm hearing impaired to this day. I'm pretty much close to death, but I mean, I still have my hearing. Blessed being, I'm always praying for that, but it's like always meditating on that. But it's like I just remember growing up constantly seeing that rejection, constantly feeling that rejection. And later on in school, I had a mother that was pretty strict on me and forced me. So she was a rejection in a sense, but yet she was also she was my projection. She was the rejection towards me, but it was a projection, which it was because, everybody wants to be popular, everybody wants to be well liked and loved in school and be respected. And she saw these little disabilities in my life. I know it, so she pushed and pushed and pushed. And I went through special things. A lot of times I didn't know why. She didn't think I was listening to her or respecting her. And honestly, it was my disability. I couldn't hear. And it's like, later on, they could have put me in a special school. But instead, she did not. No, you're not dating. That's stupid. A lot of rejection there. But she pushed and pushed until I ended up I was in public school. And I thought, this is going to be hard. But I actually, with that rejection to projection, I actually became pretty popular. I was actually pretty popular. I had a lot of good friends and growing up, and all my girls. I had my little posse girls, my little entourage, and we were all pretty and vibrant and challenging and competent. And I just remember that happened a lot, and I always had that in my life. And I just, I had that rejection forced into a projection because of my mother. She pushed, and she was very good at discipline, very well. And I was always active, always getting into clubs and learning I was always in pageants and dance, and I was very happy. But then there was always this other area of my life at home where it was always a rejection. So even though I was being projected and I was on the other end, this popularity, Miss Ohio, Miss Drill Team Ohio, Miss National, whatever, Miss Leader of my girl group, Miss Captain of my drill, whatever. But when I come home, this would be this constant rejection, constant put down, and it was a constant thing. No, you can't have no pop. You got to drink milk. No, you can't have cookies. You can't do that. You can't have this cereal. You can't have that. Rejection, constantly. But then my projection on the outside was constantly where I was rising up in a sense of where I was popular. I was well known. But then there was that disability I had. A lot of times it actually, people think, well, I couldn't hear them. Nobody knew that I couldn't hear them because I always hid it from everybody. And I tried to read lips, and I learned behind the scenes a little bit of sign language, but I didn't want anybody to know. So I hid that disability. So people would just say, oh, she's just dizzy. She's like, oh, hello, Traci, you hear me? And they didn't know I had this hearing, my friends, even though I was popular and I was captain of I was in my cheerleading, whatever. And they just took it off, oh, well, she's blonde. Dizzy, hello. And so they understand my point about rejection to projection. So a lot of times that can be a struggle in your life. Now, later on down the road, I never grew up understanding anything in a sense where I kept seeing this. So when I got into an adult work area of my life, I found myself dealing with people that were different than me, all walks of life. In fact, I had started, I don't know why, but it was a bad time during the economy, and I started working at a bank. I was in financial already. I did financial with Air Force. I enjoyed that, but then, those jobs were not always secure. They were contracted. We lose contracts and you have to go find a job. It was tough. It was during those times. And then I would go to bartending, and bartending, I was real popular, music, but everything, and then it would be rejected in a sense towards my health. But we did what we had to do as kids then to make money, and bartending or doing music, and then I would do that, and then I would on my art side, and then I would on the side I would do a regular job, which was finance. And I started working for this big bank, and I thought, oh, cool, wow, I'm moving up in the corporate world. There was working in the highest, tallest building in my city, and there were all these levels of floors, and it was like an opportunity to actually level up, right? Well, I ended up getting the bottom of the bottom, and I found myself working with people from different areas that I'm not from, with suburban, my life, to the urban, and I found that the rejection was even harder. It was getting worse. The rejection was that here I am, this girl, blonde, white, and I was all around these different ethnic type people, and I never grew up knowing about racism or anything like that. I never knew. I was pretty protected. I just didn't see that. I never really believed in it. I just never saw it. Then I felt finally, when I started working in this corporate world, I started understanding and feeling racism. Now, here I am, this considered white girl. I was I was always tan. I thought I was tan, blonde hair. And I was put in, how we have these cubicles. These cubicles. In fact, what cubicles are. Those are low data type, low level, I'm talking about customer service jobs. So here we are in these cubicles, and we're a section, and it's a big floor, so there's a lot of people on this floor. And my area that I was put in, they put me, and I found out my boss, she was black, and she decided to put me in an all black area space of cubicle. So when I went to go get my cubicle, they said, oh, they would step out in front of you. No, you can't sit here. So I was, okay. Somebody already sitting there. And then I would go to another. No, you can't sit here. Okay. You need to sit in the back. All the way in the back, white girl. And I was like, whoa, okay. Where's that coming from? And I basically, here I'm already being rejected. So I sat there and I, mind my own business, did my job. But yet, and your times when you take a break and you're not on the phone doing your work, usually you spin your chair around, you talk to everybody that's in your little space, correct? Well, I never got that. So here these girls always turn around and pulling their chairs and talking and laughing. And I thought, okay, well, all right, cool. What are they laughing about? And, we always wear these headphones. That's why headphones always work, because I can hear. And even though I was still hearing impaired, I had a surgery, so I had surgery when I was young, and later on then I lost my hearing again. But during that time, we wore things in our ear, headphones, and so. But when we take our headphones to get a break, these girls would always come together and they chitter chatter and laugh and joke. And I thought, okay, well, cool. What are they laughing about? And I'd come in and I'd say, hey, what's so funny? And they would all stop. And then wouldn't answer me. So I was like, what? Okay. And so then I'm like, oh, okay. So what's going on, guys? And I was trying to make friends, I didn't understand. I was being constantly rejected. So I was confident enough, I decided to do that. And they turn around and they go, what up, white girl? What do you think you doing? And Barbie, you trying to be a Barbie doll? Listen, Miss Barbie. Listen, Miss Pork Chop. And it was constant. I dealt with it constantly. When I go to the bathroom, one of the girls, I'll never forget, I know her name to this day. It's in my book. If you want to read my book, tell a story about, in one of my books. I think it's called Battleground or the Get Your Life Running type book. I forget. I talk about a story. I still remember her name to this day. She was short. She was mean, hateful, and she would always pester me and just she was mean. In fact, she would bump into me and hit me all the time, call me pork chop, call me Bomby dog. You name it. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is getting ridiculous. And I kept finally get to the point where I went, wow, this is going to have to stop. I would return to my seat after bathroom break, and I would it was like, wow, this is the worst rejection I have ever felt in my life. This was painful. It hurt. Just talking to you about right now, it hurts. Tears are coming to my eyes right now. And I haven't thought about that time in so long. But my point is, when it comes to rejection, it was real. It was so, I never felt that in my life, like that kind of pain. It hurt. And I'm feeling it right now, because I tell you, it was, I've never felt like that. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is, sometimes when talking bad about others what they were doing, it makes them feel better about themselves. Correct? So good. And if would have been able to see the rejection, if I would have been able to see the rejection as a projection, maybe I could have dealt with it. But it's really hard. And so I tried to do whatever I could to try to fit in, right? Now, there were other people, like there was other ethnic tent, like there was some people, girls that I were in my work, like there were Arabic and Spanish, and so I tried to fit in. I tried to be with them, hang out with them, and it worked. It actually worked. I actually had these friends. I mean, I had the whole full cool whatever. I had an Arabic friend, I had a Spanish friend, Latin friend, I had a Filipino friend, and I had my white, and I was like, and then I had like one or two. Now the black girls were really tough because they were definitely constantly rejecting me. It took a long time, but eventually that girl that was always picking on me, she kind of cooled off and started being pretty cool and holding off on a lot of the name calling. But the thing is, I found myself doing everything I can to prove to them that, hey, I'm alright, I'm cool, whatever. And it got to the point where I found myself doing stuff that I didn't really enjoy. Even though I was hanging out with them and doing stuff with them, I was still being rejected in a lot of ways, because even though they were my friends now, they were still behind my back. Like if somebody would say, "Oh God, I love her," and I became this leader role. When somebody would want to get close to me, this other girl would go behind and do everything she can to attack, to get that other girl not to like me, and then they would believe it, and it was a constant turmoil of rejection in and out, so to speak. You know what I'm talking about, right? So good. Anybody understand what I'm saying? Yes. Hello. It's the same way in maybe your family. But I didn't feel right. Well, another story I remember is where I was with these friends that had nothing to do with different races or a different thing. It was just people in general, but it had to do with people that were they were into smoking marijuana, and that's all they did. They smoked marijuana. Cool. Now, I actually was dating someone, and I found out later that his whole friends and their friends and even their family, even their parents, and even spilled over into my own family, was like, that's what they did. That was the cool thing. And they would constantly try to say, "Hey, you need to chill out, man." And they pass it instead of, it's like a regular conversation, sitting there talking, watching TV. It was about the joint. The joint. It was a whole thing about that was connected to the joint or the bong or whatever. And I would say no, and then they blow it in my face or whatever. The whole point is, that was her thing. And so I stopped getting invited to family events. Like I started invited to these other events. And then I would find out about it and I'd say, "Hey, what's up?" And they go, "Nothing." And then I would be separate from that. It constantly rejected. I was constantly rejected. So these friends and these family members or whatever, they would put me down, talk bad about me behind my back, go around, even on social media. It just was terrible, and it was a constant rejection because I chose to not be, or I just didn't want. Now I could have. Now that there was a time where I actually did. I finally did. I said, "Okay, I'm in college. I'm going to try it, whatever." And because it was such a peer pressure, and I thought, "Okay, I'm going to try it. It's cool." And it wasn't just that. It was like a lot of people. I just got, "Why am I attracted to this? Because that's not what I am and who I am." And so when I did, it happened to be the worst experience of my life. I couldn't understand what they saw in it. It was the worst experience of my life, emotionally, mentally, and physically. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you about rejection. It's these situations that cause people to dislike themselves. So you feel like, okay, well, I'm just not, I'm alone. And then they would constantly remind you that, you have no friends. You're nobody. You're nothing. Nobody wants to invite you to that. Nobody wants you to be around you, you're just not cool. You're just not that. And I mean, and then they would make up stories even to point to not even though people want you to invite you, people would make up stories or say things about you so they wouldn't invite you. And then even turn people, even your loved ones. It's just a sad situation, correct? Do you all remember what I'm talking about? And it's the same thing with sports people. Like when I became in sports, where you're going through this rich and famous, you're trying to push things in the same thing. And when I started getting into fitness and bodybuilding, and they wanted, we're not allowed to do drugs, but yet these other people do. We're tested. It's a pressure that we deal with constantly in rejection. But let me tell you something. This is a blessing, because you're not put into these situations. Why? You don't know, because these are situations the higher power wants you to know if you can handle it. Can you handle it? Can you be true to yourself, who you are? Now, we're not perfect. We're human. We all make mistakes, and we sin. And thank goodness we have things in our life that allow us to be forgiven, to repent, to understand that whether we like it or not, this is not going to be something you're going to stay in. You're going to be pushed forward. You're going to be projected forward, because you are meant to be doing something that is not about what they're doing. And it's okay. And you'll be surprised that you will have more support and love that you wouldn't realize that they kept rejecting you about. But they actually will love and support you no matter what, unconditionally, subconsciously, whether you realize it or not, because that's your goal, that's your destiny, and you will be projected, like my mother was with the sense of rejection. She projected. You're projecting into your destiny. You'll be shot. Now, be patient. I know it's hurtful, and it can cause a lot of situations, because some people, when they get into that situation, they turn to these other types of tools, like I said, to mask that insecurity that's inside them, that turmoil, that hate they have inside, or the unkindness, loving, and like I said, they project it out onto you, not understanding it's not about you and your own value, it's just about what their turmoil is inside of them. Now, take this into something that when people hurt you, it isn't fair. Life isn't fair. It can be an injury. Life has rejected so much at all that you do, that you put in. Correct? So good. Am I right? Rather than view that as a mistake or insanity, or having it to where, oh, life hates me, it spits in my face. I feel like that. I feel like this is the universe despises me. Why in the world am I not liking that person has 187 million followers, or getting new sponsors, or being invited, or loved, or paid attention to? Or why am I not in that relationship that I know that I feel and sense it, but yet the universe is keeping them away from me, and they're rejecting me, even though I know that it's something that is meant to be? Why am I not with that person, my soulmate, when I know who it is, and I know who I want to be? Why are they rejecting me? Why is this person who I know is right for me, who I feel this love for and kindness, why are they rejecting me? Because they're not ready. It's not about you, it's about them. They might be a multimillionaire. They might be a famous person. You keep having this drawing tiction. But they look down upon you, they reject you because of who they hang out with, or what they're doing in their life. Or they think they have to be around. And those people say, oh no, you can't do that. She's not a supermodel. No, she's not in this type of political party, or she's, not in what you're speaking. It'll bring you down. No, because that's not about you, because they don't know nothing about you. You don't know where you're going, right? Maybe she chooses him over you. Maybe she sees that, oh, well, this man is who I need to be around with. But then find out you focus on yourself and keep going, and you work so hard on your inside, your life, and your destiny, and find out later that he ends up beating her up, making her life miserable, not giving her anything, control of her life, no freedom, nothing. And you find that you're this enlightened love, care, and she sees, and all of a sudden now it's what? Too late. Because then all of a sudden you're aligned with somebody that's even better than that person in the same realm, but in a enlightened way and connected. And yet what happens? She tries to come back, go, oh, I made a mistake, or oh, I did this. Right? So good, am I right? So what does that mean? When you're valued is pretty much not understandable at the time with these people. Stay on your path. Like I said in this other video, if you ever watched, go back and watch my video about stay the course. If you really want to learn more about how to stay the course, that's a great video that can help you about staying the course, correct? And now, let me talk about people that are dealing with weight. It's the same thing. Your life transitions so hard. Maybe you're struggling with your weight. Maybe you feel hurt. And that hurt's coming on and you don't realize it, but could be affecting how your weight is or transition in your life. You no longer can have children. You're divorced. Now you're up to 185, or maybe you're up to 275, and you don't know why. Why am I doing this? I don't understand. I'm trying all these diets. I'm trying all these new fad things. I'm trying all these weight loss pills. It works for everybody else. I see all these amazing transformations before and after pictures. I'm doing everything I can. I've tried every diet. I've tried everything I can possibly do, and nothing works for me. Why is it working for everybody else, but it's rejecting me? Right? So good. Are you into this for me? Why is that happening? Now, overcoming that rejection. This is a learning experience. It's because you're going to take that rejection and it's going to project you to finally one day, the next day, you, after all this time, will find that it's all inside. And you can find that through meditation. You can find that through spending time with yourself, loving yourself, self-care. If you haven't already been in, it's going on right now. It's already in the first week, the 21-day meditation for weight loss challenge. Look into your spiritual self. Take a spiritual vibration challenge. Get in the group. Stay on that path. If you're a woman dealing with different times in your life and you want to be in a Goddess Invincible, stay on the path. Check out those groups. You can find yourself that why these are being rejected. And you'll understand that no matter what, life, if it wasn't for life completely rejecting, or should I say, how do I put this? It's protecting you. It's actually protecting you, believe it or not. And think about that, because the world needs to have some perspective shift. And you are going through a journey. And imagine if we stop viewing rejection as a negative, humiliating force, and we start viewing rejection as a necessary development tool, a personal self-growth development tool, a catalyst for massive success. When I look at people who I admire that have been highly successful in life, I can't help but to notice how they've overcome rejections they face. So good. Am I so right? So good. Breathe that in. Yes. No matter where you are. No matter where you are, understand who you become. Because whether it's not what they do, maybe, but it's what you do. And all you can do is wonder how in the world they dealt with it. Because they leveled up through moments. They leveled up. Listen to me now. They leveled up in their moments of what? Rejection. Yeah, so good. You understand now? So their rejection projected them. Oh, I think that's such a good message. When people hurt you and it's life just isn't fair. We just had a recent holiday. Martin Luther King, a great leader. Short time. I didn't really understand him that much about growing up, but like any leader, Abraham Lincoln or anybody, there's such good messages that these leaders that have gone through so much in their life, and there's one that I really, really like a lot, and this is something that has really, I didn't even know this, but like Abraham Lincoln, I never really heard this until my Uncle Stan. Uncle Stan, when I came back, bless his heart, bless his soul. He used to say this quote, and let's see if I can remember it. I was so blessed because somebody came to his funeral. I bless her. I love her. She's so wonderful when she did this. And I don't know if I have it here. I don't think I have it here. What is it? I don't have it memorized. I need to memorize it. See if I can find it. And so anyways, I've always taken this statement that really took to heart, and from my Uncle Stan, and it's just something that is amazing to me, and I was glad when I finally got the actual written on paper. And so I want to share it with you about when it comes to overcoming rejection. And it is my Uncle Stan's statement, his famous statement, but it comes from Abraham Lincoln, and it goes like this. Just remember this: in this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and it often comes with bitter agony. Perfect relief is not possible except with time. You cannot now believe that you will ever feel better. But this is not true. You are sure to be happy again. Knowing this, truly believing it, will make you less miserable now. I have had enough experience to make this statement. Always keep that. You can find that even on the internet. You can just print it out, post it up to where you can see it. So when you have those days like that, just take that statement. And I was so amazed. My Uncle Stan, when he gave that to me, and I'm so glad to have that. And I always will remember it. And I got lucky. I actually got him on video saying it. It was pretty funny. But something that I'll always have and treasure with him. So just use that when you feel like this, when this rejection is, because this is a projection. And just remember that you will sure to be happy again. Knowing this, truly believe it will make you less miserable. Because you're not alone. Everybody does it. Just remember these rejections. Look at Abraham Lincoln, where he came today. I mean, he was leader of this country. So remember, overcoming rejection is a blessing. You will be anointed because it is projecting you into your destiny. I want to take you now and bring your hands together. Breathe that in so good. Oh, I love you in this place. Put your hands up to your forehead. Shine your light and love. Please do us a favor if you like this video. Please press the thumbs up, subscribe, and ring our cat bell so you can get reminders of the next videos that are always being posted. And shine your light and love. Sharing is caring. And I now want you to bow to claim it. All right. See you the next Sunday Spiritual Vibe message. Have a wonderful week.